Welcome to the city of brotherly girls.
All right, welcoming to the show, we have Taylor, the Killer Bee Starling, number two ranked female BKFC. The contender had a busy 2025. Thank you for coming on the show and for your time, Miss Sparling.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Great. Now, how's life just generally? After a busy 2025, three fights you fought recently. Tell me how you're feeling.
There was definitely a lot of highs and lows in 2025. It was such a good year in my personal life, like getting married and getting to travel the world. That was amazing. In the fight world, I had some downs with like fighting Beck Rawlings. That wasn't my favorite. It wasn't a fight I wanted to take, but I did. When the boss calls and says, "Hey, we want you to step in," you step in. The win against Shelby Cannon, awesome. I love going to Sturgis. That's something that I'm like, as long as I'm fighting, I would love to be in Sturgis every year. That is my favorite show to fight at. The place is amazing. Now, with my stepping into Misfits, this whole experience that I've had with them has been really rough and I'm not happy about it. I can't say too much, but there's a lot of things that are going to come out very soon and I can't wait to like really talk about it because I haven't gotten the opportunity to. I'm proud of myself for the way that that camp went and getting to travel to Dubai with my husband and my coach. What an amazing experience. That part was good, but yeah, there's some things coming. There's some things coming soon on that situation.
You'll have to hold off till the time's right, but I'm excited to hear what it is.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I gotta let the check clear and
I hear you.
then
I
I can
hear
say
you.
some stuff.
What was it like over in was that your first time over there fighting?
Yeah, I have only been out of the country once. Me and my husband went to Curacao on our honeymoon in September, and that was my first time like leaving the country. So to take a fight trip to Dubai was absolutely mind-blowing and insane, and I don't know how I did it, but I did, and it was a lot smoother than I thought it would be.
Now, how do you compare fighting in Philadelphia when you fought in Knucklemania and that crazy wild environment, even just socially compared to over there? It's probably
I
super different,
would
right?
I would rather fight in Philly
All day.
all day, a million times. The energy is the best. Philly is the best. The people there are crazy. They're diehards. The vibe is so good. Dubai was weird. I was first on the card, so I think the venue wasn't really filled up yet, but everyone also like kind of has this either everybody has a lot of money or has this facade that they have a lot of money. The arena was like pretty empty when I fought and it was very
Really?
like quiet. Like there was a couple I had some fans that could see me while I was in staging that we were like hyping each other up before I walked out and they were really pumped. But other than that, like it was a really weird energy there and I was like, ugh. I like Philly. I like when if I come up to you and I scream in your face and you scream in my face right back and we're just like, yeah, like that that's the kind of like energy I like to have when I fight.
And you stole, like, honestly, you stole the show. Even at Knucklemania, your walkout coming out with the Eagles stuff on, everyone was behind you. The vibe.
My brother-in-law will probably kill me, but he works for the Eagles
Oh yeah?
and yeah, so that's like people were telling me like you're not really an Eagles fan, but my husband is from Burlington, New Jersey, and
Okay.
his brother works for the Eagles. So I married into an Eagles family and we're so close. We're like right over the bridge and I've been up there so much so I feel like I'm a part of all of that and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm closer to the Eagles than people realize."
Burlington it's South Jersey, but it's like 20 minutes. It's 15
Yeah.
minutes over the bridge
Yeah, I love it. If I could move to Jersey right now, I would.
for sure. No, you're in Carolina, right?
Yeah, South
Yeah.
Carolina, two completely different worlds. My husband moved down here when we were dating. He moved down here for me, and so he's got he had quite a bit of culture shock coming down here.
Off topic, but me and my girlfriend went to Isle of Palm. That was
Hmm.
my first time down there. That was beautiful. I didn't really like
Yeah,
Charleston as much, but Isle of Palm was beautiful.
it's it's got its charm. I feel like there's something beautiful everywhere you go, but like for me, like I love being up there. People wouldn't expect South Jersey to be as country and like
Yeah.
green fields and farms and being up there, I was like, I love it. And you're so close to everything. You're close to the beach, close to the mountains, you're close to Philly, like you're so close to everything. I love it up there.
It's true. Now back to the Killer Bee. Back to the kill. I wanted to ask you too, being on that, I don't want to talk too much about the Misfits stuff, but any interaction, because he's a controversial guy, Andrew Tate. Any interaction there or anything like that?
No, that man tried to separate himself from everybody as much as humanly
Yeah.
possible. The only time I saw him was so we had a press conference that they put us in the press conference, but they held a separate press conference right after that for the main event and the co-main event. They had to separate it. They didn't want it to get too chaotic. And I kind of like peeked in the room. I was like, huh, okay. And then that was it. The funniest part of all of this was I had no idea who Andrew Tate was when
Really?
when I signed my contract. I was like, yeah, the main event is some Andrew Tate guy. And my husband's like, you don't know who Andrew Tate is? And he like we went into it and I was like, oh, like no, I had no idea. I stay so like I live in my universe. I don't pay attention to like politics or
Yeah.
people like that or like controversial stuff. I kind of just like stay in my own lane. I like if I hear about him, like, oh, okay. But no, I didn't know who he was. And then I learned who he was. And then yeah, it was crazy. I saw a lot of Maybachs and McLarens and Lamborghinis like at like when he was fighting, mine was well over and the hotel was surrounded with like these insane foreign cars. So that was my Andrew Tate experience.
Jeez. I saw he came in the press conference. It's probably the one you're talking about on a yacht. Like he rode a yacht in and then got off. It was wild.
I was in my own world thinking about Dubai chocolate bars and fighting.
Oh, what was that like? Did you just get a call randomly? Like, hey, you're a BKFC star. We need a female opponent. What was like that? How'd you even get in contact with them?
I had reached out to the CEO a couple times just when I was trying to stay active. Like there has been like a lot of times where you don't stay super active with bare knuckle and I was like, I just got to be now this past year has been my most active year. So I will say I'm
Yeah.
so thankful. I was really busy, but in all those times I had knocked on their door and been like, hey, let me come box, let me come box. Finally, they hit me up. They're like, why don't you come box for us? And I was like, why not? Why not? And I had no idea it was Dubai. My assumption was that it was going to be in London. And they were like, oh, yeah, well, your flight to Dubai. And I was like, Dubai? Sure, let's go to Dubai. Like, most people would be pumped to be going to Dubai. I was like, ah, that's going to be rough. But they hit me up and I was like, sure, I'll do it and I'll fight the champ.
Right away. Yeah. Title shot right away for you because you have that name.
I
Good
beat the
done.
champ too, by the way. I would
100%.
love to say that first and foremost. That girl doesn't deserve to have a belt on her waist. I beat her, and
I agree. I
yeah,
saw this. The split decision was kind of wild.
split decision is extremely wild, and that girl is vile and disgusting. I will say that. I've dealt with a lot of opponents. You know, I said there's a lot I can't say, but
Yeah.
the one thing I can say is dealt with I've dealt with like of course you're not best friends with someone you're fighting. And I've had my fair share of like starting shit with Christine, but that was like staged. We both were like fist bump in the back, like, let's go out there and talk shit. No, this girl is disgusting and just an evil human being, and I've never experienced anything like her, and not in a good way.
Yeah. Nah, that's crazy. Now, how much of that, I don't want to get into anything, get you, but how much of that is like quote unquote manufactured? Like how much of it, like you said with you and Christine, what percentage of it would you say, not necessarily you, but with fighters where it is kind of an act, like where they're just trying to build a fight, they're trying to sell tickets?
I would say, like, in the grand scheme of it, I feel like if you put a number on it with everybody, I'd say like 75 to 80%
Yeah.
manufactured. I mean, with Christine, like I can tell you that was 100% manufactured. Me and Christine would call each other every other week and like, you know, we were fighting each other, but we'd meet up before like there's a video of me snatching the belt from her. Me and Christine were around a corner on the other side of a building like, okay, I'm going to come up to you. I'm going to snatch this belt. Like that one was 100% manufactured. And but you know, someone like the girl I just fought, Carla, she was an asshole all week and it was 100% real and I in my mind was going into this I'm like okay, she's a good businesswoman, she's selling the shit, she likes to run her mouth and talk shit, but when I got into a room with her for the first time, I think well the first interaction was she was standing there and I I'm gonna fight you. It doesn't matter. I will always be like, hey, what's up? Like if I'm in a room with my opponent, hey, what's
Yeah,
up? How are you? Whatever. Who cares? Like we're gonna fight. It's gonna be over. And I understand people not wanting to say hi, but she just completely ignored me. And then her team said hi to me. And then being in a room where they force you to sit and talk to it, like the way she was, like the way she talked to people, the way she acted, like that was 100% real. And it was just her and who she is. And it's really, really gross. And at the end of the day, like whether it's manufactured or not, there's still a level of
sure.
human respect for other human beings. And that girl has none of that.
Yeah, and it's the respect between warriors too. You know that
Yeah,
discipline.
exactly.
Now, I saw the face off, and I was even because I've been doing this for a little while, and sometimes you can tell, and sometimes you can't. When I watched that the zone face off with you both sitting there, it did seem like legit. That's why I want to bring it
Yeah,
up with you.
so we got brought into a room and they sat us across or well, she wasn't even in there yet. She was late 'cause she was late to everything. I'm sitting at this table and she comes in and they wanted us to sit on our chairs like facing with like the back of the chair where we're leaning on the chair like this and we're talking shit or whatever. She comes in, the first thing she said, I'm not doing that. I'm not sitting in that chair like that and like just talking to the employees like garbage and making all these demands and she didn't bring her belt and she's like somebody go get my belt, like the way she was talking. And so my plan originally was like I'm not going to give this girl anything, and then I just seen how she was and I was like nah, we're talking shit, let's get into it. I don't care, like I'm not going to be, I'm if she's not going to be nice to other people or me, then I'm not giving her the same respect back.
No, I hear you. What's your plans 2026 wise? You wouldn't consider Misfits again. Would you go boxing, take a boxing? Would you
I
BKFC
really
obviously?
I want to go back to bare knuckle, of course. That's my home.
Yeah.
That's my organization. I feel almost like a little bit bad that I even was like, let me go do something on the side. But I also do want to take boxing matches, like locally or just small stuff, just to stay busy and like keep my mind like I'm very goal oriented and I have to be working at something at all times or I lose my mind. Like right now, I'm being a normal human. I'm not doing any boxing or striking. I'm just lifting and conditioning and I'm like losing it. Um, some small boxing shows maybe, or I would love to fight on a Jake Paul undercard. That's like the goal. I would love to be on a Jake Paul undercard. I think the way that I just experienced Dubai and to see what he does for female fighters and the sport of boxing, as much as people hate the guy, like he's doing amazing things for women. He's doing amazing things for boxing, and I would love to be on a Jake Paul undercard. But I'm also in no rush. I have had a couple of nose surgeries. My nose has been broken a few times, which I don't really talk about a lot, to the point where like I could get flicked in my nose and it's gonna start pouring blood. And I kind of just need to like chill the fuck out. Like I need to chill out. I haven't chilled out and I don't know how to chill out. And I need a little bit of like a little chill period. I think that I have a problem where I think the world's gonna like go on without me if I stop. So I need to not I need to just take a break and like be okay with a break. Everything's gonna be right there when I come back. I need like a little like okay, I can chill.
You had a busy
moment.
year. You need some time to digest and just chill out. You're one of them people that have, if you have a goal and you need to have something to constantly motivate you, but sometimes a good
It's
reset
never
is needed.
enough.
Yeah, it's
It's
needed.
never enough.
It's true.
It when I meet people, they like or people around me, they're like, holy shit, I don't know how you do what you do. I really go from my eyes pop open at 5 a.m., whether I have an alarm on or not. And as soon as I wake up, I'm ready to get up and tackle the day and do what I need to do. And I juggle a million plates at once. So it's crazy, but if I don't have that, I like lose my mind.
Where did this all start? Like that mindset. What's your actual backstory? Like getting into fighting. Like, what made you even want to do this to begin with?
I would think I'm gonna say this, like my mindset with where I am with my work ethic and like how I am about just being very crazy and like tedious about getting shit done is definitely like my dad and my stepdad both played a huge role in that. Like, don't be lazy. If you're not 10 minutes early, you're late. If you're not up at the ass crack of dawn getting shit done, you're worthless. Like I have to like I I just don't like being lazy. But with fighting, I was not good at anything when I was a kid. I tried everything. My dad was really, really hard on me about softball. Like he wanted me to be like a star softball player. I don't know I don't know very many famous softball players, but that was what my dad wanted me to do, and I wasn't really good at it. I was kind of always in the back positions, and I tried to do dance. I tried to be on the cheer team, and they would stick me in the back, and I was like, "Damn, I hate this." But I got in a lot of fights. I grew up in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I got in a lot of fights in school, and none of them were ever like started by me. They were always finished by me. And then it was, I had coaches like, hey, we got to get you got to stop fighting. You're going to be kicked out of school. You're going to be getting in trouble. You're going to be in jail. Like, just, so I had people point me in the right direction of like, oh, why don't you try wrestling? I tried wrestling. Girls weren't really in it at the time. So I was like, I don't really want to be wrestling the high school boys. And then I was like, I really would just rather punch people and do jujitsu. And so I found a gym that I could go to. And that when I went in there, I was like, oh, this is it. This is what I like to do. And I wasn't necessarily good at it right away, but I knew like I was 15 years old and I was like, I'm going to be a famous pro fighter. It's going to happen. And I just told myself that until it happened. And now I'm like, I don't know how that, I don't even know how I got here, but I did.
Law of attraction. That happened.
Just
Now,
never gave up. I never gave up.
what
I'd be
was
like,
your
it'll
first?
pay off. It'll pay off one day.
And it did. You know, you're sitting where you're at now because of that. What was your first like it was BJJ, but what was your first actual entry into like amateur fighting? Like, was it boxing? Was it MMA?
Boxing.
That's right. Yeah.
Boxing. I did a couple like grappling tournaments. That to me, I'm sorry, but if people say that a grappling tournament is a fight, it's not a fight. Um, but I took a boxing match in 2012. I started training super young, and then I took my first ever like amateur boxing match in September 2012. And I remember I boxed for Rosales Kickboxing. They had smokers every weekend, and that was my first fight. And the girl that I fought was way taller than me, and I was like, "Holy shit, I'm fighting a giant!" And I beat the snot out of her, and I remember holding like my shitty little trophy, and I was like, I'm gonna be a pro fighter. I'm so good. And I really was. I was terrible. But I just knew then. But yeah, I boxing.
That's then now so 2012 you're about in high school, right?
Yeah.
And then boxing, and then from there, how'd you get into BKFC? Did they call
A
you?
long That was a long journey. I did boxing, I did MMA, I did kickboxing, I fought for Glory, I fought for King of the Cage, I fought local boxing shows. I was doing a little bit of everything. And when I went to Glory for kickboxing, I was like, "Oh yeah, I made it. They want me to be a star here." In reality, Glory Kickboxing was bringing me in to get beat up by their number one girl, and I think they expected me to get knocked out right away, and I didn't. And they were kind of like, dang, like this girl. I went all the rounds with like this world champion in Muay Thai, and they were like, damn, we didn't expect that. And after that, I kind of just kept coasting, doing like pro MMA, pro boxing. I was all over the place, and I was like, damn, I don't particularly enjoy MMA. I don't really enjoy kickboxing. Like, I just want to punch people, but boxing's politics and pay your way to the top and all these things that people don't know about that go into it. And I had seen Paige Van Zant sign with Bare Knuckle, and Bare Knuckle was kind of like being whispered about and just starting, and everyone was like, "Oh, like what is this? Like this is horrible." Like people didn't like it. People were responding terribly to Bare Knuckle, and I saw Paige Van Zant sign with them, and I was like, I could beat up Paige Van Zant. They didn't announce who she was fighting yet, but I was like, if I get in there, I can beat up Paige Van Zant. I know it. So I was reaching out to everybody I knew, anybody I could find to like get me the fight with Paige Van Zant. Didn't happen that way. The matchmaker actually reached out to me and was like, listen, if you want to fight on Knucklemania 1 versus Teresa Segala, you say yes to this fight or we will not have anything to do with you. They were like, you take this fight or nothing, basically. And I was like, I would love to. And here we are now.
Stars.
Life has changed.
And you won that first was it first or second round KO?
No, that one was like it was a 5 round war. That was the one where like the meme came about and
That's
I was
right.
all yeah,
But
that
the
was my
second,
first one.
and that was actually before I even really followed it because I super got into it with Knuckle Mania in Philly. But I
Uh-huh.
remember I was always like a boxing diehard and then UFC. But seeing that clip, I didn't even put it together until Knuckle Mania that that was you because of how viral it went. That was insane.
It didn't even blow up until like years after, which is the crazy part. It was like 3 years after that fight, it blew up, and then it just started circling the internet. And I was like, how the hell did people get a hold of this? And like, because it was a random YouTube interview, so it just it went. Yeah, that was crazy. Because 3 years later, I'm not even thinking about that fight anymore, really, and it just blew up on the internet. It was crazy.
And I remember watching that too because you did get it was a 5 round war. Then that interview was after. Then your KO was the second one, right?
Yes, yeah, the
Right.
28-second Cassie Robb finish that one. And what the craziest part about that is like that fight, I was so scared and I was in the back and I was like, I felt pressure because the first performance was such a big deal and like changed my life. And I was like, I don't know if I can go out here and fight you guys. Like I know everyone's expecting like this crazy fight because of the first one, and then it went that way, and I was like, whew, okay, good, because
Relief.
I was not feeling it that night.
Well, going back to that first fight, what do you feel after a fight like that? Like, because 1% of the population is you guys, the fighters, the gladiators. The rest of the people never experience that in their life. Like, what's that feeling like after you finally get done that? You're doing that interview. Like, what do you actually? What's actually going through your mind?
Oh my gosh, I always tell people the first one, it felt like it was as bad as I thought it was would be, but it also wasn't. Like I expected it to be way worse, but then it wasn't. I also like couldn't even process like that my face was so banged up. Probably until a couple of days after when I got home, I was like, "Holy shit, what did I do?" Um, but it then it went away pretty quickly. Like everything started healing super fast. But like in that moment in the interview, like that woman was interviewing about to interview me and she's like, I think you should go clean yourself off. And I had blood like head to toe. And I was like, no. And she was like, what, why? And I was like, I just fought. I just want to sit in it. I was like, I just went through this crazy war and like I couldn't even process what was going on. I was like, I just feel like I got in this crazy battle and I just want to be like in the blood. And she was like, wow, okay. So, because a lot of people gave her shit for interviewing me like that. They're like, why on earth would you interview that girl? I was like, I would love to do an interview. I'm not washing my face. So you either get me like this or you don't. And she was just like, let's do it. And now here we are.
And that's gonna be one of them viral clips that they play, like the BKFC history.
It
The
needs to
inter-
be in the museum. If they make a BKFC museum, I don't even, I would love to have my own section. We don't even need that. Just the meme.
well, you'll be a Hall of Famer, and they'll have that photo, both of them, when they do
Put
have
it Yeah, that's the photo they need for me specifically, like just that one.
it. No, you talked about too. There's a little bit like of apprehension for the second, like going into your second fight, a little bit of nervousness maybe after that war that you had. Generally, like before a fight, how are you feeling? Like leading up to the fight, it's 3 weeks out, it's 2 weeks out. I don't know if you're cutting, if you're doing this and that. What's the mindset going into fight week?
I am always nervous for a fight. It's crazy. No matter, I've gotten a lot better at managing my nerves. It used to be like I was losing my mind and couldn't sleep at night and everything. Now I'm like, now I've gotten it whittled down to like fight day. I'm like, whew, okay, it's fight day. Like, cause you're like, all right, I'm getting in a scheduled fist fight in front of a crowd in 6 hours. And back then, whew, especially a bare knuckle fight, I feel like no matter what, I think that was the difference with the Misfits fight. I wasn't as nervous. And I was like, I think it really is because I've got gloves on. I know I'm not gonna walk out of the ring looking like I do after a bare knuckle fight. Um, but no matter what, I'm always nervous. I'm always nervous, and it definitely used to be worse. It used to be like I would go crazy. Um, I'm very unorthodox in the sense of like when I fight during the week, I try to do everything to not think about the fight as much as possible. Like go see stuff, go do stuff, and of course getting all my training and weight cut perfect. But if there's a free moment where I can do something that doesn't make me think about fighting, I'm doing that.
It makes Yeah, it makes sense. That's interesting you say that too, because it's an opposite approach that a lot of fighters have, where
Oh
they're
yeah.
constantly doing things for the fight. It's a good mechanism to kind of take your mind off of it and ease into the fight.
The only way I can like function is if I'm doing everything to not think about the fight. Other like when I'm locked in, I'm locked in. But if we're not cutting weight, hitting mitts, running on a treadmill, I'm like, where are we go? Are we going to the mall? Are we gonna go to the zoo? What are we gonna go look at so that I'm not thinking about this?
That's like what all the like Mike Tyson says. It's in the Rocky movies. Like you have to use fear as a fire. Like,
Yeah.
do you think you fight better when you're scared?
Yeah, I think nerves are a good thing. It's because nerves mean you care.
Yeah.
If you're nervous, it's because you care about what's going to happen. You care about the result. You care about how hard you worked. If you're not nervous, it's not normal. So I always have to remind myself when I start feeling nervous and getting all jittery, I'm like, it's because I care and I, dedicate my life to the sport. Why wouldn't I be nervous? If I wasn't nervous, that worries me a lot more. That worries me way more.
I agree. And yeah, like I said, Mike Tyson said that too. He's like anyone who says they're not scared, they're not nervous walking in, and he's the baddest man on the planet. He's like, I was scared shitless every single time I would walk in. And he's like, and as soon as I would get close to the ring, I don't know if you've seen that famous clip. He's like, then I start to feel like a god.
Oh
Then I
yeah.
start to
That's when it
feel
kind of just dissipates. You're like, all right, I'm here now. It's too late. I think it's crazy. Like the one thing feeling I always get to is not necessarily this last fight, but there have been a lot of bare knuckle fights where I'm in the back and I run to the bathroom a lot, like peeing when I'm fighting. I don't know what it is. I just have to pee, like nervous pee. But I will sit and I will look in the mirror and I'm like, okay, in an hour you're gonna be fighting. And then I'll go back, it'll be 30 minutes. Okay, in 30 minutes, you're gonna be walking to the ring, you're gonna be fighting. And it just would like be a weird thing that I did. And it's crazy to like be in a room and you're like, all right, like in this short amount of time, I'm gonna be out there and like you're seeing people coming back who are just got knocked out or cut open and you're like, oh man, like that's about to be me. Like, what's that gonna be like for me? But it's fun. That's part of it. That's part of the. I always tell people fighting is like a drug in the sense of like there's these really high highs and really low lows and the whole build up to it and the release after and it is a crazy thing. I don't I don't recommend it for everybody.
now talk about that a little bit. Like talk about some of them high moments, some of them low moments. Like what are those emotions like?
Of course, winning is the best feeling in the world. When you win, you're like, hell yeah, everything that I worked hard for paid off. But I can say this, like every time I fight, whether I win or whether I lose, there's always this like adrenaline dump after, like the week after. I've lost fights and been super upset with like how things have gone or me not performing the way I wanted to, or even being as bad as like my fight with Christine Faria. Um, but then there's also wins that I've won, like a fight that should have been like the best win in my life, and I've gone home and been sad. So it's like it's this crazy, crazy thing, man. It's just such a crazy thing. Of course, you always want to win. You always want to win, but winning isn't always everything. And I'm in love with the process of working hard to get to that moment and to do it. And so like sometimes afterwards you're like, damn, it's already over. Like it that. But then when you're in the thick of it, you're like, this sucks. I've been on a diet for 8 weeks. I hate this. I don't want to do it ever again. I don't know why I do this. And then when it's over, you're like, all right, when's the next one? When am I going to get back in the ring?
So
So it's,
even after a win, sometimes you'll get that dump.
I think that's what something a lot of people don't realize about fighters. I mean, maybe there's fighters who don't feel that way, but I definitely feel like there is like some blues that come with it. More of so of like, I'll put it in perspective. So you get a fight, you're riding the high of like, all right, I found out I had a fight. Or I'm getting to fight, but nobody knows it yet. Nobody around you knows you have a fight. Then they announce the fight. When they announce the fight and it's on social media, everyone's loving you. They're resharing, they're reposting, they're calling you, texting you. Oh my gosh, this is amazing, so cool. You're getting all this attention. Then the build up for the weeks, you're getting all this attention. You're getting in the best shape of your life. You're getting ready for something. You're getting interviews, you're getting phone calls, you're getting podcasts, whatever you're doing. The week of, you're posting social media pictures, weigh-ins, all this like fun, crazy stuff, and you get this like big buildup of attention and adrenaline and preparing for it, and then you fight, and it's almost like a day or two after, it's crickets.
Yeah,
Like nobody's really like you get that attention after whether you win or you lose. People are, yeah, you won. But then even the day after you win, people are like, they're on to the next. And that's such a crazy thing. And I've definitely personally experienced depression on both ends of winning and losing. You're like, well, nobody cares about me anymore. Nobody's worried about like I don't have the eyes on me. And or I lost and nobody gives a shit. I lost. Like they don't think I'm the queen anymore, necessarily. And I know that there's other fighters that have to feel that way, but for me personally, it's the highs and the lows of fighting.
that's interesting perspective, and I can agree to it. Like any high achiever in life, it seems like when you have whether you're a fighter or whether you're any high level profession, like you put that as your identity, and then once that's gone, even for a brief period of time, you're like, who am I?
Yes.
I know the feeling.
That's why I think too that there are a lot of people in the UFC or boxing or people who just like don't let it go. They don't retire when they should. They continue to go because it's hard to let that go. It's hard to accept like, oh, I'm done or I need a break or I need time off or the people that should have retired on a high note, they keep chasing that high and then what do you then they've got CTE brain damage and go out getting knocked out 34 times in a row.
That
So yeah,
Yeah, and then you get the outside people looking in that don't understand that. Like you have some of the fighters like Rocky Marciano or Khabib in the UFC, and they're like, "Why they retire so young?" It's like, well, not really. They didn't retire young. They just got
they're
out
being
when they should have.
smart.
They're being smart
Yeah, very, very smart. I've got enough people around me and people I've seen coming up in all of this that just don't let it go. And then yeah, it's that high, it's the glory, it's the high of being in camp and all the eyes being on you and the wins and being the champion and you want to chase that forever, but unfortunately it doesn't last forever. It's fighting is very short-lived, more short-lived than people even realize.
for sure. Now with that, like identity, like we're talking about, like you said, you got married, things like that. Has that helped with that a little bit?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
my my husband is my rock. I was losing my mind pretty badly before he came around and he definitely got me out of a dark place. I was losing my mind. Everything was okay, but I was definitely on the verge of going different directions. And not I didn't have an identity. I didn't really like have my identity. I was pretty lonely. I had my team and my teammates were awesome, but I was going down a dark path very quickly, and I didn't have somebody who could like really be my rock and support me and show me the support I needed in the ways that I needed. So he took me out of that, and he's such a good person, and he's changed my husband is very I don't know what the word would be for it, but he sees things from every angle. And didn't used to be like that. I was very one way, my way or the highway. And he has brought into my life like seeing things from different perspectives. He's my calm. I'm a very high strung, energetic, crazy person, and he came and calmed me down. So I needed that, and I'm so thankful for him because he changed my life for the better.
That's awesome. And he travels with you to fights now too. Like you went over to the Misfits fight and everything like that.
Yeah, so he actually is the photographer for Bare Knuckle.
Oh, cool.
And so most of the time when I'm fighting, he's on the ring and shooting my fights. And um he doesn't get to show any support because he has to be completely unbiased. It would be and we don't want it any other way. We want to be as unbiased and neutral as possible for who I'm fighting and for myself. So he's always on the ring shooting and he can't like cheer or be like yeah like go baby yeah like he can't say or do anything until afterwards we packed up we've gone or right after the fight if I'm getting stitched up or something he'll always come back there and like make sure I'm okay. Like at Knuckle Mania he came hauling ass down the tunnel to check on me before he had to shoot the main event. And so that's our fight story has been I'm fighting, he can't show support. So this time for Misfits, he took off of bare knuckle shooting to go to Dubai with me and he got to corner me, which was so awesome. And he did such a good job. Like it was so cool because it was the first time that he could just be like, yes, fuck her up. He could be supportive. So it was the
That's awesome.
best.
Now, does he
Yeah.
have, was he in combat sports as well, like prior to his photography?
He did a lot of jujitsu. So he
Yeah,
was a jujitsu guy and then he got injured and had to have multiple surgeries. He skateboards.
that's badass.
But the jujitsu, he was really good at jujitsu and really training a lot of jujitsu and then got injured and had to get shoulder surgery and so he doesn't do that anymore. He'll train with me sometimes and hit the pads. I want him to take a boxing match because he's got like freak power, and I just want him. He wants to take like one amateur fight and just lay someone out and then be like, I'm done.
You got to get it out of your system. He's got to
Yeah,
get
but
it.
he's been around combat sports forever. He's
Yeah.
shot the greatest of the greats, and he's friends with greats of the UFC. And his best friend is the Bellator champion, or not Bellator, PFL champion, Corey Anderson. He used to be the
Okay.
Bellator champion. Now he's a PFL champion. He's been around it all and shot for multiple organizations, UFC, Bellator, BKFC. He's been all over the place. So he's done a lot of good things with combat sports, so he knows it better than anyone. He's watched over 1 million fights, like been ringside for so many.
Now, was he doing your early fights too, like all the photography and everything?
I first met him when I fought Christine Faria. And
Okay.
that's kind of what's funny about plays into our story. He started working not long after, but he didn't get to shoot any of my fights or meet me yet. But when I fought Christine Faria, he shot me for the first time and I was like kind of fangirling because I had seen his work and I'm like, oh my gosh, he's a really good photographer. This is gonna be so cool. And I told him like, wow, like look at your work. This is crazy that you're taking my picture. I can't believe it. And he's like, I can't believe I'm taking your picture. This is awesome. And after I lost, like so devastatingly and like embarrassingly, and like everything just played out the way it did, he gave me some really good words in the airport because I was devastated. I was in the airport like head down, crying, and he came over and just said some really nice things to me as a human being. It wasn't like him being a weirdo or like anything like
Yeah,
that. He just human to human was like, "You're a good person. It's gonna be okay. This doesn't define you. Don't like hang your head about this too long," and just checked on me. And I remember being like, that was so kind. And then years later we we started talking and now we're married.
that's all. That goes back to the identity piece. Maybe when you felt like your identity was crumbling down and it all comes
Oh,
together.
he's such a good person. And it was like little things like that before we even were more than just two people interacting. Said everything I needed to know about him.
That's awesome. Now, are you comfortable talking about the Freya fight? Like
Yeah.
when you were in there and what was going through your mind in that fight?
Oh man. So I can say this, like I've talked about it a couple of times, but none of the trash talk and all this stuff bothered me because it was planned. So it was like
Yeah.
whatever. Um, I feel like at that point in my life, I had so many things going on that I wasn't dealing with mentally. And I was like, oh, fighting Christine Faria is going to be what fixes all of this. And like going through a tough training camp, like my training camp sucked. Like every time I'd go into the gym, I'd be crying or I'd be like, I don't want to be here. I hate this. I hate training. I hate all of this. I had no love for the sport at that point in time. And I didn't want to do it anymore. And I just kept dragging myself to the gym and like forcing myself to train. And before the fight, like even fight week, like the fight week, I was just evil. Like I was angry and I was mad and like snapping and I was like, this isn't normal. I'm not okay. And come fight night, I was in the back. The commission was like checking stuff with wrapping hands and drug testing and like all these things going on that were like really overwhelming me and I was just getting really angry and I'm like, I'm not angry like this before I fight. And come time, it's like time to go. And I'm walking out. And I remember I just had this moment walking out from my fight with Christine where I didn't feel in my body. And it felt like I was in a video game. And I was like, I don't feel like my feet are under me. I don't feel like I couldn't process what was going on. Like I just was not there. Like I was not there. And even they're announcing my name in the ring and I'm jumping up and down and they're like Taylor like I remember thinking like gosh, Jeff Houston is taking so long to announce my name and I was like I just want him to hurry up so like I can get this over with. And none of it felt like real and I just felt like I'm not here right now. I don't know what's going on. And then we get in the fight, and I'm like, okay, like I landed like one good solid punch on Christine, but as soon as she hit me, it was like I couldn't. I was like, I don't know why, but I can't fight back, and I don't know what's going on. And mind you, she hits like a truck, so I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, I was just not there. She hits like a fucking truck, and I fought her like earlier on. That woman hits like a man. It's insane. It's terrifying. But she was hitting me, and it was just like I couldn't put anything together or like think, and I was just like, fuck this, like I don't want to do it. Like I was like, I remember she hit me really, really hard in my temple. And there was like a hook she threw to my temple, and I was like thinking about my kids, and I was like, I can either say I want out of this, or I could get knocked out in front of my children and my team. And I thought like the right thing to do was like, I'm done. And that like that haunts me forever. People still talk shit about it like every day to this day. But yeah, there was just a lot of weird things going on. I just wasn't in a good place mentally. And a lot of people get nervous to fight Christine. I wasn't necessarily nervous to fight her. It was just more of like I hated what I was doing. And I wasn't in love with like fighting at that time. And I think it's because I put a lot of pressure on myself. I was like, I'm 3-0. I should fight the champion. And before I knew it was like this whole storm of like things weren't good in my life. I just like thought I was doing what I should be doing, and it definitely was like not the right move. Not the right move.
Now going into the training camp, you feel you lost your love for it. What was that from? Like, was that you said that's not normal?
Yeah, I had this like I said, I was 3-0. I started getting all this pressure of like she's 3-0. I had managers that like I don't feel like I was working really well with at the time. My life was in turmoil. Like the things that were happening to me at home and like work, and like I was working multiple jobs. Like I just had so many things going on that like I couldn't keep up with it. And I'm very much so somebody who will like, or used to, not now. Now I let my emotions out like a fountain, but I used to take everything and just put it deep down and until it would explode. And I think at that point I was just like putting so many things down, and I went from my knuckle mania fight, second fight, third fight, just on this high. And like, but there's this pressure that comes with it of like I felt like I had to be in the gym constantly, and it was to the point where like I didn't take a break. I never took a break. I'd be right back in the gym. I'd be right back in the gym being injured, and just I was ignoring everything and forcing myself. Like I wasn't taking breaks. That's why I'm like right now I'm like I need a break. I need to chill, or
Yeah.
I'm gonna go crazy and I'm gonna lose my mind. So taking a break right now, but that's was stuff I just wasn't paying attention to. And I don't like to ask for help. I don't like to say that something's wrong. I don't like to say things are going on. And so I was like, okay, now I know. Because all of that was just built up things going on, and not being around good people, and not talking to the good people that I did have. And yeah, I ignored a lot of shit, and it built up. And unfortunately, the release was in the ring with Christine.
Yeah. And you don't, people who don't realize or people who don't have that DNA never understand, but I think you did the right thing because it's at the end of the day, at the end of the day, you gotta look out for yourself and your health and your kids and your family and your true identity. People don't realize that are talking shit, that don't realize it's what would they do in that situation. It's there's no
I'm
shame at
like,
all.
you guys go get in the ring with Christine
Exactly.
Faria and let her hit you and see if you don't quit, if she doesn't knock you out.
It's true. I actually brought this up with Chaos Williams. It's one of my favorite it's a little small a short essay, but it's called Man in the Arena. Have you ever
Oh,
heard of it?
yes, amazing. The best words to live by.
They're the words, and it's true. It's like everyone has opinions or thoughts or this or that, but it's about the man or woman in the arena with
Yep.
all the blood and dust and sweat on their face. They're just striving for a valiant cause. That's the truth.
Listen, Christine just hit Jessica Borgo with a freak shot that
Oh,
made
I
that
know.
girl's eyeball drop into her face. If anybody wants to talk shit, you go get in there with Christine, and you let me know how you fare. And then that's not even just women, that's men. Like Christine will beat up the men too. So I'm like, you go ahead. You want to go get hit by Christine, you go right ahead.
And that was a while ago too. You've been on a tear since then. Looking forward, like what are your plans? Like I know you want to chill out for a little bit now, but anything you have on your radar 2026?
I don't know about 2026, but I would love to. rematch Britain Hart down the line. I think our fight was one of the greatest women fights of all time, and that's a fight that really taught me a lot about myself, really gave me so much respect for Britain. Like we both bit down and just like threw down in Sturgis, and that was super awesome. And I do have a lot of respect for her as a fighter, and that's a fight I would love to run back, win, lose, draw, whatever happens, happens. That one was fun. And that's something that I'm like, I would love to do that again. Not anytime soon. I need a second. I need a second. I even told Britain not that long. I'm like, I need a second, girl. I need to chill. Um, but I would love to revisit that. But as far as that goes, like, I'm like, my 2025 was so good. Whatever comes, comes. I'm here. I'm gonna be traveling. I'm gonna be working. And yeah, I don't have anything super crazy, but that is something I would love to do again. 2026, 2027, whenever it happens, it happens.
For sure. Now, outside of fighting, what do you like to do? What are some of your hobbies? Music?
So
Mhm.
boring.
Yeah.
People think that I would probably be the most exciting human being. I do nothing. I don't really have like a hobby or anything. Me and my husband play a lot of board games. We love playing games, or watching like true crime documentaries, or like we just got done with Stranger Things. But
Everybody else?
we love like if I'm not in camp, our favorite activity is to like get in bed at night and eat junk food and watch Netflix and play games. Outside of that, I'm telling you, like I'm so boring. I can play the flute. That's like cool, I guess. I really enjoy baking. My husband's the cook. He's definitely the cook of the house. I'm the baker. I like to bake a lot and I like to play board games and read books. Nothing exciting. I don't do anything like crazy. I don't do anything crazy. I'm like, I don't have anything super like some crazy fact about myself. Yeah. We love board games. I would say that's like our biggest thing that we do.
What's your game? You play chess?
My husband's trying to teach me chess. I am gonna be so honest, I'm pretty dumb. So chess is hard for me. I was trying to figure it out. I need to bring it back. I need to bring it back. Right now we've been on a Scrabble kick.
Okay.
Because I knew what Scrabble was but I never like really played it. And his family plays Scrabble a lot and they're like freaks at Scrabble. So he's teaching me. I haven't beat him yet, but I'm like, I gotta beat him. And we really love Battleship. Like
Okay.
Battleship's one of our favorites. We love Battleship.
You would the if you have him teach you chess, you would absolutely love chess as a fighter.
It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
Like when we have played, it's fun, but like this is the problem. I'm a very sore loser. So
It's competitive.
I'm like I can tell that he's going to beat me so badly when we have played that I'm like I don't even want to do this. Like I don't even want to learn.
That's where's the Killer Bee nickname come from?
Okay. I had a heavyweight female training partner. She's done pro wrestling. Her name is Lady Tapa. So she was like a pro boxer, pro wrestler. She's from Tonga and she was just a giant girl. And I mean that in the most nice way, really just a big woman, one of my best friends at the time. Um, I didn't have a nickname but she was my main training partner. So here I am, this tiny little girl sparring this giant woman and she hit so hard, but it would be like one really hard punch and then I would throw like 100 little punches to her and she was just like you're just like a bee, you're always stinging people, you're always stinging people, and she kept like calling me Killa Bee.
That's
And when
awesome.
I'd see her, like it just stuck, and all the time I'd see her she'd be like what's up Killa Bee, and like it just stuck and then it stayed, and I love it so much. It's my identity. I never imagined my life to be so bee themed, but it is, and I love it, and it's the best. It's such a cool name.
It suits your fighting style too. Exactly like you said. You crowd, you fight, you punch out of the clinch, high volume. So it definitely fits. And now you match your walkout attire with it. Always the yellow and black.
I love it. I don't have to think about what I'm gonna wear when I fight. I'm like, I call my lady and I'm like, black and yellow or yellow and black. Which one? Like, just make me a cool outfit with those colors. And I don't know how she keeps coming up with ideas, but she does, and it makes it so easy. I love it. It's the best.
Now you have a lady that does all your custom trunks and walkout gear and everything.
Yes, and her name is Isla Erickson. She owns Defila, and or Defila. I never thought of it that way, but that it has her name in it. But she runs this company. They used to make outfits for she made outfits for pro wrestlers and MMA fighters in Invicta for the women. And I would see her stuff and I was like, wow, one day I'm gonna have her like make an outfit for me when I can afford it. And um I emailed her and she made me an outfit. Now she basically does like every woman in bare knuckle and she always is like, thank you so much for getting me into like that avenue of fighting because now all the girls are hitting her up for fight outfits and I'm like, I'm a little trendsetter. I love it. She's the best and she no matter what I ask her for, it's like instantly she's like, "Yes, I got it. I will send it to you. It'll be there on time." I couldn't ask for a better outfit designer for my stuff.
That's badass. What was the first fight that she did for you, where she outfitted you?
Cassie Robb, I
Yeah.
believe. Yes, Cassie Robb. I think I fought Teresa Segala in Knucklemania, and I wore like something from an apparel company, and it was fine. It was just like shorts and a sports bra. But I knew I wanted her to make an outfit for me. So Cassie Robb, I think, was the first time she ever made an outfit for me, and I like never felt so cool in my life.
That's
And so
badass.
every time she sends me like every time she makes something, I'm like waiting to see the mock-up, and then when it comes in person and I try it on, I feel like a superhero.
That's awesome. Any names outside of Britain Hart? Any dream fights? Any even crossover events? Any names that you want?
Like I said, undercard for Jake Paul. I don't really have any names. It's hard to think of like 115ers because we don't have such a huge 115-pound division. Um,
Well, Britain's the champ right now, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, she's the champ, and then I'm number two. I think
Yep.
Sarah Shell is under her, but that girl gets nothing from me. Um, I don't know. There's not really any names in particular. Like I'm just like whatever, whoever comes comes. Put me on a Jake Paul undercard or some crazy event for bare knuckle, and I'm happy.
It's true. And that, I mean,
Mhm.
people always downplay the effect that Jake has had on women's boxing. The number two ranked fight in terms of viewership all time now is Katie Taylor Serrano.
So good. So
So
that fight was
good.
amazing. That fight
Amazing.
carried the whole card.
It did. Their first fight at MSG was just as good. Second fight, all them eyeballs. And then who was the female fighter? She's one of the top fighters in the world that was just on the co-main of AJ versus Jake. It was Alicia Baumgartner.
Yes, 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 yes,
Yep.
yes. I forgot. That was the day I was fighting that day. So we were watching the Jake Paul fight in the morning because we were in Dubai. But yeah, so I don't care. Put me first. I'll be the first fight. I'll be on the prelims. I'll be on the YouTube channel. Like, I don't care. Just let me get on a Jake Paul undercard and then bare knuckle. Those are my two, like the only two things I really care about happening.
And you can't, I mean, I think the next fight would be championship for you with Britain Hart, run that back, and then
Yeah, run it
maybe,
back.
and then you got to get on that Jake Paul cards for sure.
Yeah, or like bring some crazy like influencer TikTok person to bare knuckle that's like never fought before and you can have like a freak show at bare knuckle. I don't know.
You can
It's
feed her
like
down.
whatever's gonna pay the bills and yeah, but right now I'm chilling. Right now the fight that's happening is me versus the ice cream that I got in my freezer. Me and my husband fighting some Doritos. Like that's the fight right now to make.
And that's a tougher fight than when you get in the ring. Without.
Yes, it is.
That's well, thank you so much for your time, Taylor. It was an honor
Thank
to have you
you.
on, and anywhere people can find you, your social media, any way they can support you, get behind you.
I got Instagram at TW Starling. I've got TikTok at Killa Bee. I have a Facebook. You can try to send me a friend request. Probably never gonna see it. I don't look at any of my requests. I'm really terrible. And that's about it. But Instagram's like the main one. So at TW Starling. And yeah, tune into Bare Knuckle. You will see me there all the time, whether I'm working media or fighting. And yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It means a lot.
Thank you so much.
Have a good night.
You
Go
too.
Birds.